I think they're more along the lines of how Portland wants to represent itself, how maybe it used to represent itself, and I think we're trying to get back to that. The safest that I ever feel on a bike is through like biking paths in parks, and it's because I don't have to worry about cars at all. The thing that makes me feel this least safe is just lack of confidence in people driving and their awareness of what's happening. I don't know if that can change, but having more areas where cars are not allowed to go on and having it be very apparent, I think that would be a better solution. The greenways are very specific parts of the city, streets that go from, I think, one end of that street to the river that is not just dedicated to bikes. Cars can also drive on them, but there is a bigger emphasis around bike safety. I would say what the city would like is for bikes to more often than not use those pathways, but they have not asked the cars to stop using them. I would love more greenways. I think that would be really nice. There are added aspects to the greenways, like where we're at right now on Clinton, where there's shop areas that come out on the streets too, and those parts of the streets are closed down, and that feels really cozy and community oriented, and I'd love to see more of that. We don't need as many streets as we have for cars. So utilizing them for something that can create safety and build community would be great. Probably in the beginning of the pandemic, and yes, it was a fine experience because nobody was on the roads. But yeah, I haven't since. I walk, and I feel far more comfortable walking because I have far more control about how I'm more aware of what's going on around me for a longer period of time because I'm going slower. So as somebody who doesn't bike because of accidents I've had in the past, not on the greenways, I don't have a lot of personal experience of things occurring to me, but I'll give you one example of a bad thing that I saw happen and one example of some good things. So the bad thing was just like what I'm sure lots of bikers here experience, a car just pulling out without looking, without stopping, and hitting a biker and their bike being destroyed because of that incident. And of course, that creates trauma, that creates a feeling of not being safe, and it can sustain pretty damn good injuries since we're in metal containers that are going really fast. But the good pieces are sitting out on my front porch, which is on a greenway, and just seeing all of the families and all of the little kids that get to go out and be with their parents and ride their bikes and learn in what is generally, I think, a safe environment. It's really sweet just seeing people actually able to get out and enjoy the city in a family-friendly way. I live on this street, so I have to drive onto my street, onto my portion of the street to get to my house, but I don't drive through the neighborhoods anymore to get down towards the waterfront, I just go down Division, right? So this has deterred somebody in the neighborhood from going through. So doing more of this, even though it's inconvenient for cars, it's far more safe and convenient for everybody else. No, it's the least amount of inconvenience.